Hey everybody, welcome to Boat Tour TV. Today we are going to take a look at this beautiful 41-foot Tartan. She was built in 1973 and completely refit in 2010. You will not be disappointed. Hey, so we're on the 41-foot Tartan. Now, I do have a question. Is it Tartan or Tartan? If you know the answer and I'm saying it wrong, leave a comment down below and I'll definitely take a look at it. Tartan, you know, they've been around since the 60s. S&S builders in the early days, and they're definitely known as far as like the Swan racing class. So this Tartan specifically is absolutely a performance cruiser. She's lean, she's fast, and she will not disappoint out on the water. This is going to be definitely for your enthusiast, your big time sailing enthusiast, because you're gonna run this girl as good as she can be. So we're up here on the bow, and you can see she's got a roll of fur for a head sail. She does have a windlass. There are foot controls for the windlass up there. Anchor off the pulpit. She has really good lifelines. The deck's easily managed. It's not a multi-leveled deck. It's all one level. I can move and navigate through seamlessly. Real good attachment points for your dock lines. The standing rigging looks in phenomenal shape, and so you're going to see a lot of the upgrades that they did in the boat are just amazing, and you can really tell that in 2010 when they completely tore her apart and refit her completely, they did an excellent job. The standing rigging, like I said, is in fantastic shape. You have the winches on the mast, and then all your running rigging goes kind of top cabin, goes through little holes there, and runs all the way back to the cockpit, which is really nice. Cleans up the lines really nicely on the deck. She does have, and I always forget the terminology on these, but she does have like these skylights, which provide a lot of light inside. Beyond the hatches, she has, I'm counting 4 hatches up here on the main deck, and they're really good size. This forward front bow hatch is huge. It's a big hatch. So really interesting about this boat, when they did the refit, and for you Tartan enthusiasts, you've already spotted it, is they actually added this cap in 2010. This is added, so this has increased the headroom down below substantially. And as you know, the early Tartans, since the racing history was so prominent with them, they were typically somewhat sparse down below. You are not going to be disappointed in this, because this boat is not sparse down below. You can see a little of her racing history still down there, but she's very beautiful. When they did the refit in 2010, they built this fiberglass Dodger structure. This is obviously star glass. This is in fantastic shape. And then you can see right here where I was talking about the nice little, I'll call them mini portholes or whatever, the little line runners. Really nice. Runs right in, brings it back after cockpit. This is really nice. This is great visibility. Now, when they did the refit in 2010, they did these boats, because they're a racing design, they came with a longer boom. So the boom would have been longer. So they've shortened up the boom just a tad to make her more of a cruising, but you still get the performance aspect. And there is this really interesting, moving forward, interesting kind of an intermediate stay. So you have your forward stay, your rear stay, your side stays obviously, and then they've got this intermediate one. And I'm sure that when she was running the racing rigging and the boom was longer, this added much more structural support, so you could really torque her down and she could run really tight. Hi, welcome to the cockpit of the 41 Tartan. First off, my electronics right in front of me, right where I need them. Got all my important instruments, compass, nice size wheel, like the wheel. And we have this substructure, superstructure, or whatever we want to call it. She's beefy. She's really strong. And then she ties in with some canvas to your Dodger, so you have a complete sunshade or rain shade. The cockpit's well appointed. We have a lazarette behind me. It's the only lazarette in the cockpit. And then below my feet, right in here, is going to be your emergency tiller. Should you lose your steering, you can come up and do the emergency. We also have a manual bilge pump. We have the Yanmar engine controls. The Yanmar was replaced in 2009. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the upcoming episode of a 36-foot Ed Monk trawler as we do an owner's perspective tour and learn about Joe, his boat, and Crown City trawlers. We have radio and engine controls also. So well appointed, and the visibility is fantastic, especially with this fiberglass structure, which you guys saw earlier. The visibility is unreal, so I really like the visibility. Rear adjustable main backstay, that's nice, and then good boarding ladder for off the stern. Okay, so on board the 41 Tartan, we're going to have our chart plotter and radar, and then we're going to have our wind instrument, and then we're going to have our smart pilot, which is your autopilot, and then your depth. So all these are pretty critical for a sailboat to have. They all play an important function, and it's nice that she's appointed with them. So depth is very important because we have a keel underneath the boat, and we need to know, we know as far as our boat how deep our keel is, what our draft, they call it draft, what draft we're drawing. And so you can set up alarms on here. So let's say this was a 5.5 foot draft. That means at 5.5 inches, I'm going to run aground. So we would set an alarm for 4 feet or 4.5 feet, and then it starts sounding. We can alter our course if we need to, which we should. So very nice compass. When they built this glass Dodger, fiberglass Dodger, they raised it up quite a bit. Well, they raised the boom, they put a boom vang on, and then the Traveler here for the boom. But the headroom is crazy. It's awesome. You're not even close to it, which really gives it a walkability where you don't have any concerns if you have guests, non-boating guests aboard your vessel. And the boom swings. You know, you're never even coming close to that. So we've come down below into the Salon, and we'll stop at the Galley first, and we'll take a look at it. So the Galley is also well pointed. She's got a gimbaled stove and oven, nice stainless sink, pretty deep, very good storage, and you've got your fridge. She opens on both sides, and it even goes deeper. Those are shelves, so it's probably, I'm gonna say, about 3.5 feet deep. So
is that storage?
Storage drawers, you know, obviously more storage up here, and then you have storage there and there, and then it's also got the stainless backsplash or grease splash for the oven stove when you're cooking on it. Again, great headroom. There's a port light that opens pretty much right above the stove, just to the left after the stove. So when you're cooking, you'd have that open, and that's probably to ventilate really well.
Is it stainless steel too?
The port light?
It's no, right next to the sink. Yeah, it's a backsplash.
Yeah. So easy to maintain, good lighting.
The sink is really deep.
The sink is deep. You're right, which is nice. You know, a little smaller of a sink, but what it makes up for in width, it gains in girth and depth.
Is it a storage underneath the sink?
There is storage.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So this is obviously also your storage. So get your pumps.
Okay.
Just like that.
What's that?
That's for your propane. Your LP gas, liquid propane.
Oh, okay.
So you'd flip the switch, and then you have propane. So it's a seaward stove and oven. For those of you who are looking for names, like I said, it has lighting, underlighting there. It also has head lighting up there. It's, you know, I feel that if you're underway, you know, I mean, it's against a stairway companionway, you know, your stove's gimbaled over. For those of you that don't know, a gimbaled stove floats. So as the boat, a sailboat, heels over to one side, it's going to maintain a degree of levelness. So the items on there don't rock off. And I feel comfortable here, you know, if I was heeled over.
It's nice, the raised, the top.
Yes.
Otherwise you wouldn't be able to fit in it.
Yeah, really nice. Okay, so midship of the galley, we've got the companionway stairs that leads out to the rear cockpit, but then we have the box, and the box is going to be the reveal, a Yanmar. So, for those of you that watch sailing shows on YouTube, they always talk about like engine access. Well, I'm here to tell you, you can access this engine wonderfully. And I know for a fact this comes off, so you have complete access all the way around your engine. This Yanmar was put in 2010. Right here on the plate, it says manufacture date 2009, and from what I understand, she only has 300 hours on her. So, you know, as most of us know, these Yanmars run forever, and 300 hours is just kind of a break-in point at this time of its life. Everything looks really clean, looks well taken care of. There's no corrosion. Use a little bit of a wipe down, but that's about it. No big deal. Hoses look like they're in great shape. Love the access to that. Boy, that would just changing oil, impellers, hoses would be so simple on this boat. Let me put this hatch back on. She also has a water maker. Just your build chat, yeah. So aft of the galley, aft of the engine, we have two aft berths. Storage underneath. And, you know, if you're cruising somewhere, this is probably going to be where you're sleeping. You know, it's easy access, do your shifts, that type of thing. They're very roomy. They're not very claustrophobic, if that's your thing. They have their barbecue stored there. The water maker's right down there. Little hanging locker. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you can be notified the next time we drop a video on YouTube. So looking at the nav station, she does lift so you can put things underneath of her. It's a nice little nav station. She's not overly big, but she's not small. She has all the important features. She's got your chart plotter radar, auto helm, your radio, your AC breakers, your DC breakers, manual bilge pump override, battery on-off switches, plenty of headroom when you're sitting at the nav station. So a good little work area. Definitely a good little work area. So we find ourselves in the salon of the 41 Tartan. Again, tons of headroom. So she has a settee on this side, another settee on this side that does turn into a dining area, which is really nice. Collapsible table. One thing I noticed right off the bat was the amount of storage is a lot. So she's got a lot of storage. And there's people walking all around the marina, but it's all good. Tons of storage, and it's really deep storage. Let's see this one here. Oh, the door's gonna open towards you. Tons of storage, very deep storage. So, and then we have what they've duly marked as the aviator's bar, and just like every aviator I've known, it's an empty bar. I'm guessing the owner is an aviator, since something to do about helicopters. Anyway, so I love the headroom. We've got hatches up here, good ventilation. Here is one of the skylights I was talking about, which really offers. So here it looks like really looks like it's a fluorescent light in here, but it's not. It's what was up top that I talked about. Yeah. So see how it looks like it's on, but it's like this geodesic dome or some sort of doming that offers lots of light. Again, more storage here. Lights above head lighting. There is storage underneath the settees, both of them. Oh, this is gonna be your water tank. So that's your tank access. So you've got tank over there. And then let's just have a look. Yep. So here's another tank here. There's some storage. So that portion.
Is it water tank?
No, that's not going to be a water tank. I believe that's a fuel tank right there. So that's my guess. Snaps on the back of that tank. And let's see here. Nope. So your settees are tanked, except for this little storage area right here. So, and then moving forward, we've got the head, and it's a wet head, and then the V-berth. Now, something to note about the V-berth as we're moving to it, when they did the refit in 2010, they completely redesigned the V-berth and added depth to it, so the whole V-berth is storage, which wasn't there. So if you were to go look at a 73 Tartan that's unmanipulated like this one, then you would not have the storage. So they've really designed this to be a performance cruiser because you have a ton more storage up front.
Well, even here, you wouldn't have this rise too, right?
Right.
So it's all added. So normally, you won't be able to fit here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very close to you. So it's nice. Now I think we have enough headroom.
And you can see inside doesn't look like a racing boat, right? It wouldn't have that much wood. It wouldn't have these features. And they really, really dug in. And in 2010, they really hit the mark. So moving forward from the salon area into more of the forward of the boat, we have our head on the port side. Got a nice hanging locker right here. And then we have a couple drawers. and then a lower cabinet. So well appointed. You definitely have places to put your clothes, put your personal items.
One more time.
The editor likes options. We know that.
Are you comfy there?